Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a pretty quick video on Gambit in War. This is my 7-star rank 2 duped, and I had some boosts expiring and I wanted to see how he did with power back boosts. So we're going for a pretty reasonable setup for a season. I've only got little boosts on, but as you're going to see, it's more than enough. So the first thing to bear in mind is that both of these defenders that I'm going to show today will have the recoil masteries. However, since the first node is a Silver Surfer with Masochism, the bleed and the poison won't affect it, and you're going to see that we have more than enough overkill to, cut out any of the damage that recoil would have done to the defender. And the second one, which is the main event, we're going to be looking at a node 23, so that's the root and the bubble shield, rank 5 Baron Zemo. So Zemo will purify the bleed and the poison at the start of the fight, and he only throws a few specials, and you're going to see that we have even more overkill than in the Surfer fight. So I just want that little disclaimer first. I don't want to see any comments saying, well, they had recoils. You're going to see that it won't matter. The next thing to note is that relics aren't enabled in War right now. However, they will be soon, and I just want to show that Gambit does not need the relic to be really competitive in War or questing. At the moment in BGs he does, because time is just of the essence, but in War you can hope for a lucky crit, or you can just whittle them down with power back boosts. So we're starting off with this Path 1 Masochism Silver Surfer. And the main thing here is making sure that Masochism is down so you can get your parry in and then charge heavy into special. But even if you just throw the L2, the concussion will, 85% of the time, it'll stop the Masochism anyway. So we're just starting off by comboing Silver Surfer, and we want to build up our charges when we get a second. So when I'm baiting specials, I'll hold my block for a bit and let him dash at me. Or during his special, I'll hold block and try and grab a couple of charges. We're obviously working our way towards the L2. Unfortunately, Surfer does have an armor up, and that means that if we don't crit, our damage is going to be reduced even more because crits ignore some of the armor rating. However, you're going to see that even without critting here, we get quite a lot of power back, and it's enough so that we can dash in and get to another L2 before the prowesses even fall off. So we get up to the L2, throw it again, and even without crits, look how much power it gets us back, over a bar, which means we can just go in, throw this L1, and that is a nearly 60k special one. If that hadn't crit, we'd have just gone in and comboed, and the fight would have been over in just a short amount of time. But moving on to the main event. So this Zemo is interesting. There's a couple of pieces of utility that Gambit has that makes him very good for this fight. One of them is the flak jacket. On its base, it gives 1700 armor. That's just under the 2250 that Doom has as a rank 5 6-star. However, one thing that the flak jacket also has is that against non-contact mediums, for example Zemo's special 2 if you manage to eat it, or his mediums if he hits you when you're rooted, the flak jacket actually doubles that armor rating. So we have 3400 armor rating plus Gambit's base, which as a 7-star rank 2 is about 500. We have 3900 armor rating. That's almost double Doom's base. That is a lot of armor. And then the last thing that you probably know is Gambit's flak jacket also reduces incoming bleeds by 150%, so we're just going to be willpower healing from those. So we're up to 2 bars of power now, and all we need to do is stick a parry from one of Zemo's lights, go for a special 2, it doesn't crit but we're almost up to 3 bars of power. We bait Zemo for a dash and throw another special 2, no crit again, but one more dash, we get the L2 off, and that is a 190,000 hit for 2% of Zemo. So if that's not overkill, I don't know what is. If one of those hits had crit earlier in the fight, then we'd have just been laughing. Bear in mind as well that Zemo has the defense tactic, so he's an even more annoying defender right now, and Gambit just handled it absolutely fine, even though he was critting on his basics and Zemo was getting some power. In season, I'd probably invuln boost just in case Zemo did go red. However, I think that's a pretty safe fight, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with it. But in any case, off-season is almost over, so I'm not sure how much Gambit gameplay I'm going to be able to get, but hopefully I do get some season fights with him. With that said, I'm going to leave this one here and see you in the next one. Cheers.